Listen closely. The modern world is trapped in an unspoken crisis of noise. Everywhere you look, people are frantically shouting to be noticed, desperately seeking external validation, and throwing their inner peace away for a few fleeting moments of attention. They have been conditioned to believe that a quiet life is a failed life. But the ancient masters knew a completely different truth. True power does not lie in the chaos of the crowd. It is forged in absolute isolation. If you spend your entire existence waiting for society to approve your vision, you will spend your entire life standing completely still. The 13 brutal lessons you are about to hear are not comfortable, nor are they designed to soothe your ego. They are structural pillars designed to shatter your dependency on cheap approval and rebuild your mindset into an unyielding citadel. Master your mind today before life decides to test you. The first lesson is the dignity of absolute silence. One of the greatest mistakes an uncultivated man makes is the constant need to explain himself to people who do not matter. We live in an era where silence is mistaken for weakness.
The second lesson is guarding your time like currency. Most men are incredibly protective of their physical money. They lock their doors, they secure their bank accounts, and they instantly become furious if someone tries to steal a single dollar from them. Yet those same men will effortlessly hand over hours of their day to meaningless distractions, fragile conversations, and people who bring absolutely zero value to their future. They fail to realize that wealth can always be re-earned, but spent time is gone forever. Every single second you spend trying to please an ungrateful person or scrolling through the trivial updates of the crowd is an absolute act of self-sabotage. Your attention is the most valuable asset you own. Treat it with a level of extreme ruthlessness. If an event, a habit, or a person does not actively strengthen your character, expand your intellect, or secure your purpose, you must have the courage to cut it out completely without offering a single apology. Protect your schedule like an elite commander guards a fortress.
The third lesson is building an empire in the shadows. The crowd is deeply addicted to premature celebration. The moment an average person conceives a minor business idea or commits to a new physical routine, they instantly broadcast it to the entire world on social media. They chase the cheap dopamine rush of unearned applause long before any real victory has been secured. But a man of true substance operates in complete secrecy. He understands that declaring your goals prematurely invites the destructive noise of envy, unnecessary opinions, and outside doubt into your workspace. True power is built quietly behind closed doors when absolutely nobody is keeping score. Let the world assume you are stagnant. Let them believe you have faded into irrelevance, while you quietly log the grueling hours, master your craft, and assemble your foundations in private isolation. You do not need the validation of a crowd to prove your progress. Work diligently.
The fourth lesson is expecting betrayal without bitterness. One of the most painful traps in human psychology is the expectation of unyielding loyalty from fragile people. If you move through life assuming everyone shares your code of honor, your boundaries, and your integrity, you will spend your life permanently wounded. Human nature is fundamentally driven by self-interest, fear, and temporary convenience. People will change their opinions of you the very moment your presence no longer serves their immediate agenda. When someone close to you acts with deceit or turns their back on your alliance, Do not waste your sacred emotional energy on shock, resentment, or elaborate schemes of revenge. Expecting people to be flawless is a direct flaw in your own thinking. Accept reality as it is. Acknowledge their character limitation, and calmly close the door on their access to your life. Your indifference.
The fifth lesson is the extreme danger of seeking external approval. If you require the applause of the crowd to feel secure in your daily execution, you have willingly handed the keys of your life over to a fickle master. The very same people who shout your praises today will gladly join the chorus to crucify you tomorrow if the cultural wind changes direction. When you allow external validation to become your primary motivation, your baseline discipline will instantly evaporate the moment your audience walks away. A strong man establishes his metrics internally. He works hard because his own standards demand excellence, not because he is hunting for a polite pat on the back. Judge your days by your commitment to your principles, your focus, and your internal consistency. When you stop asking the world for permission to achieve greatness, you become completely untouchable. The sixth lesson is voluntarily choosing discomfort. A soft, frictionless life breeds weak, fragile individuals. When you spend every waking hour optimizing for absolute convenience, hiding from physical exertion, and treating minor inconveniences like catastrophic emergencies, your spirit deteriorates. True mental resilience is developed by deliberately stepping into the cold. You must train your mind to tolerate hardship before life forces it upon you unexpectedly. Take the harder path when a simpler shortcut is staring you in the face. Force your body to endure physical strain. Fast from your digital addictions, and spend hours in absolute isolation with nothing but your own thoughts. When you voluntarily subject yourself to controlled suffering, the standard problems of daily... The seventh lesson is crushing the illusion of future comfort. Millions of men waste their youth living in a perpetual state of delay, constantly telling themselves that they will master their health, build their fortune, or secure their legacy tomorrow. They act as if they possess a signed contract guaranteeing them a long, healthy life. But tomorrow is an unearned privilege that nature owes to absolutely no one. Time is a silent thief that bleeds your potential every single second you choose comfort over execution. Every hour spent indulging in trivial entertainment or paralyzed by procrastination is an hour you have actively stolen from the man you were created to become. There is no perfect sequence of circumstances waiting for you in the distant future. The only reality that exists is the exact microsecond you occupy right now. Throw away the childish fantasy of an easier season. Embrace the heavy friction of the... The eighth lesson is practicing self-imposed poverty of mind. No matter how much financial wealth, social status, or material comfort you manage to accumulate throughout your journey, you must never allow luxury to soften the core architecture of your soul. True internal freedom is the absolute certainty that your character does not depend
on external accessories. Periodically, you must strip away your privileges to remind your mind of its raw baseline. Force yourself to live simply, eat plain fuel, sleep on a hard surface, and eliminate your reliance on modern conveniences. When you prove to your subconscious mind that you can survive, think, and maintain absolute emotional control with nothing but the clothes on your back, you eliminate the deep-seated fear of loss. A man who is not afraid to lose his external status can never be manipulated by tyrants or controlled by the fear of failure.
The ninth lesson is cutting out fragile and toxic friendships. Look closely at the individuals who occupy your immediate circle of influence. If you are surrounded by people who constantly complain about their circumstances, mock your ambition, celebrate mediocrity, or find comfort in cheap vices, you are actively consuming poison. Laziness, victim mentalities, and emotional instability are highly contagious psychological diseases. You cannot expect to build an extraordinary life if your closest advisors are dedicated to ordinary destruction. It is far better to walk through life in absolute, crushing isolation than to compromise your trajectory for the sake of casual companionship. Have the courage to draw a sharp line in the sand. Distance yourself from anyone who does not actively challenge you to think deeper, work harder, and live with absolute integrity. Your path is narrow, and not everyone possesses the lung capacity to breathe at the high altitude of your purpose.
The 10th lesson is mastering the voice of self-doubt. The most dangerous enemy you will ever encounter does not reside in the external world. He lives inside the quiet corridors of your own mind. There will be dark mornings when the inner critic whispers that your goals are impossible, that your talent is deficient, and that your private sacrifices are entirely in vain. If you treat that voice as an absolute truth, you will abandon your blueprint before the foundation is even dry. You must realize that fear and doubt are merely biological signals, not factual commands. Learn to observe your negative thoughts without emotionally reacting to them. Let the doubt speak. Acknowledge its presence like a passing cloud, and then instantly return to your physical execution. Your confidence is built through repeated action, not through waiting for your fear to disappear entirely. Action fuels belief, and consistency destroys doubt. The 11th lesson is treating success and failure as complete imposters. When you experience a massive financial or professional victory, the crowd will instantly rush to place you on a pedestal, filling your mind with the dangerous fuel of arrogance. Conversely, when life levels a crushing blow and your projects crumble, the world will quickly brand you as a failure. Both of these external perspectives are complete illusions. A true master maintains a completely flat emotional baseline through both seasons. A victory does not make you a god, and a defeat does not reduce your worth to zero. Success is merely a resource to be managed with deep humility, and failure is nothing more than a localized data point to be analyzed with strict objectivity. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on the work itself.
The 12th lesson is the ultimate freedom of having absolutely no opinion. Modern society is completely obsessed with forcing you to take a public stance on every trivial debate, political theater, and social trend that flashes across the screen. They want your attention permanently fragmented and your emotions constantly triggered. But you possess the sovereign right to look at a chaotic situation and choose to have zero opinion on it. You do not need to mentally participate in every argument you are invited to. When you refuse to invest your mental energy into things you cannot directly control, you instantly preserve a massive reservoir of focus for your own life's calling. Let the crowd tear itself apart over trivial distractions. Protect your inner peace with an iron fist, and focus entirely on mastering your own immediate domain.
The 13th lesson is Memento Mori, remembering that you must eventually die. This is the ultimate, inescapable truth that places every problem, every anxiety, and every ambition into perfect tactical perspective. The ticking clock of mortality does not care about your hurt feelings, your daily stresses, or your elaborate plans for next year. Your life is a brief flash of lightning against the backdrop of an infinite night. When you live with the profound awareness that this day could very well be your final opportunity to execute, trivial fears lose their grip entirely. You stop caring about the judgment of others. You stop delaying your discipline, and you instantly appreciate the immense privilege of drawing breath. Let the reality of your death drive a sense of unstoppable urgency into your soul. Rise up, stand firm on your values, and build a character so unyielding that it echoes long after your bones have returned to dust. Stand alone, think alone, and conquer alone.